Hey guys, welcome back to the New Tennis Era podcast. My name's Anthony Hirsch. Today I want to talk about the Los Cabos final where Denis Shapovalov took out Alexander Kovacevic in straight sets. He got his fourth title, his third ATP title since November. He goes up 5 spots to number 28 in the world in the ATP rankings, his first title on outdoor courts and an important title for Shapo. I want to focus on this final. There are 3 different ATP finals that happened this week. I want to focus on this one. And then also it's the return of the weekly power rankings, which I will get into as well. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to like if you please don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and please don't forget to like as well. This is the first New Tennis Era podcast in a while. I haven't done this since I think the Rome final that happened in May, but we are back to regular proceedings. Since then, I did media coverage at the Little Rock Open where I interviewed players such as Maxime Cressy and Michael Zhang and other players, and then also since Wimbledon where I interviewed players such as Novak Djokovic, Jannik Sinner, and others. So Sabalenka as well and other players. So it's been a long while, but I've been busy with other things, other tennis endeavors. So hopefully we are back to regular proceedings. Monday uploads weekly for a New Tennis Era podcast, and yeah, like I said, power rankings are back as well. And if you haven't seen the power rankings before, basically it's my idea of right now who are the 10 best players in the world. ATP rankings cover really the last 52 weeks. The power rankings hopefully cover, the last 4 or 5 weeks and who's playing the best tennis right now. So that's basically the idea of that. Getting into the final that I want to talk about, I felt like this was, to me, the most interesting final because Shapo has been a well-established name in the past. I feel like he's playing really good tennis to capture now 3 titles. And now doing it on outdoor courts. Indoor courts is historically where he's been quite successful, but I felt like doing it in straight sets. And in final, that's one-handed backhand players on both sides, which I can't remember another final like this all decade. The last final of an ATP tournament that's featured both one-handed backhand players that I remember was the ATP finals in 2019 between Tsitsipas and Thiem. If you know of one since then, let me know. But I think that was the last ATP final period that happened until this one between Kovacevic and Shapovalov. And I'm going to go over key points in the match as well. But yeah, really good for Shapo to now be in this position. He hadn't reached an ATP final in over 3 years, in over 2 years, I should say. Now he wins his third consecutive final that he's played in such a short period of time. He really doesn't have that many points to defend until November. He got to the quarterfinals of Washington last year, so few points to defend there, but otherwise, it's pretty much smooth sailing for him to keep rising up in the rankings if he keeps up this quality of play. And he really is playing well, serving well. We'll get into it, but I think it's an exciting time. Exciting time for Shapo in this match. I feel like an overall assessment of the match, Shapo lost just 6 points on his first serve. That is deadly. The guy is serving amazing. He's averaging like 125 miles per hour first serve speed. He's serving huge. He's hitting his spots, and his shots are tough to read. Obviously, we know Shapo is a talented player, and he's finally, I feel like, conquered the thing that a lot of people are talking about Alcaraz, where he has so many options, but he often doesn't know which shots to implement. I feel like Shapo is doing that now better than ever. Net points, he went 9 for 11 in this match, pretty much 100%. Whenever he was finishing off at the net, he was doing it really impressively, and he had some tough volleys as well. Kovacevic wasn't making it easy for him at times, but he looked confident. He was the one taking risks in this match, not Kovacevic, and fortune favors the bold. That's absolutely the case. It was here. And yeah, he was also doing well behind his second serve. And he also on the return of serve, even though Kovacevic was serving quite well, Shapo, because he was taking his chances on return and in rallies, he managed to get 8 break points. He converted on 3 of them. So good aggressive tennis from Shapo, serve, net, and also just taking his chances across the board. And then if we go into key points in the first set, I want to start from the first game because Shapo has the more experience between these two players playing finals. And if you know finals, it is so important to get off to a good start. These are the moments that these players practice for, that they prepare for. And the moments are filled with so much tension, and it is so important to get off to a good rhythm, good momentum, to get the confidence flowing early. If you drop serve in the first game, that is a very bad sign in the final. That's exactly what Kovacevic does in both sets. He gets off to a bad start in both sets. We'll get into that in the second set. In the first game, he just plays a bunch of unforced errors, including on the forehand wing, including on break point, where he hits a forehand, +1 forehand into the net. Chapo hits a short return. He just hits a nothing ball into the net. So it just comes down to experience. Chapo has more experience in these moments, and Kovacevic plays a lousy game to start off the match, which you just can't really afford to do, I would say. Throughout the set, Shapo serving great, like I said, but also just looks really poised, confident, using drop shots really well as well, and just building out the points, more patient than we've seen Shapo often at times. Whether that's slicing the ball, he was enjoying hitting the forehand to Kovacevic's backhand and breaking that shot down. He might not get, an unforced error, even a forced error from that pattern, but what happens is he can Shapo loves hitting the forehand inside out, and then now that he's able to follow it into the net with success, that's really good for him. But what he was doing was kind of breaking down Kovacevic's backhand and putting him out of position, making him kind of struggle and kind of get caught in the corner, in the outside corner, and then hitting the forehand big inside out to the due side when the court is now open, and that became a great play for Shapo. And yeah, he was just doing a lot of things well, and I feel like just being more patient than we've usually seen him, like I said. So that was really important. Just being confident that he can build out the points. He doesn't have to go too big too early, which I felt like he was going big and taking chances, but he wasn't going for a crazy shot, the second shot of a rally or something. That's not something we were seeing. At 5-4, when Shapo was serving out the first set, we saw super solid shots from Shapovolov. His backhand holding up really well, especially on defense. He comes up with some great slices, hitting over the ball with passing shots. And it really comes down to the fact that he was willing to build out the points and defend and not go for the aggressive shot early, but he was finding an aggressive shot later in the rally. And yeah, really good for his backhand to be able to hold up like this and also to have a lot of variety with that backhand as well. And the slice was really good to defend at a few times this match as well. I haven't always thought Shapo has the best backhand slice on tour. It's probably not to the degree of like Dimitrov or somebody, but he was slicing well in this match, so that was important. Off forehand as well, which I'll mention later. Second set, like I said, Kovacevic giving a break in the first game. Shapo in general, it definitely felt like at this point he's just operating and playing at a higher level than Kovacevic. Kovacevic got to the final by beating Rublev, so obviously he was playing a high level. I don't know if that match wore him out, but whatever it was, it felt like Shapo in this match was in general a higher level. I felt like in this game, Kovacevic was hitting the ball too short, just way too short, and he was moving really early and not anticipating well where Shapo was going to hit the ball. And that's not a good thing when you feel like you have to force and move early. And if you do that, you need to have, a Casper Ruud type anticipation or a Djokovic or Murray like anticipation. You can't just be, that's the most important thing in tennis is finding the place in the court to hit where your opponent is not, and having some kind of knowledge or idea of where they're going to hit the ball. that's the most important thing, is being in the right place at the right time and trying to make sure your opponent is definitely not with your balls. And Kovacevic, if he's just moving to the opposite place Shapo is hitting, he's going to lose. So that was bad. And the reason that I felt like he needed to do that is I don't think he has, from what I've seen of him, which I have to admit isn't as much as some other top players, but what I have seen of him, I feel like he's not the best mover that there is on tour, not the best defense that there is, and I feel like Shapo's aggression can be intimidating. And I feel like he just felt like he had to move early and anticipate a lot in order to kind of narrow that gap between his defense and Shapo's aggression. But the problem was he just wasn't anticipating well where Shapo was hitting, so that just became a big problem. And Shapo's pretty good actually at hitting the ball kind of late, kind of leaving the ball on his racket until the last minute. I feel like he's quite good at uh, not necessarily faking where he's going to hit, but making it hard to read where he's going to hit the ball. So I feel like that was something that was doing all for Shapo. So I would give a shout out to Shapo for being good at hiding where he's going to hit it till the last minute on both sides, but especially on the forehand, I felt like while watching as well. Going into the specific key points, in the first game, Shapo has wide open court, high ball, and Shapo misses a terrible miss, horrible miss. He knew it too. Down the line, hits it wide, and then the game goes from love 40 now to deuce, and it looks like Kovacevic maybe has an escape card out of jail. Um, but Shapo continues to do the same pattern. He doesn't really let his guard up. I feel maybe got extra motivated now to finish the game and get the break that I feel like he deserved, which he should have gotten when he should have made the shot that he hit wide down the line. And it's not easy to do that necessarily. It's also very easy to sort of get disappointed in yourself, get negative on yourself, and suddenly the set can look really differently if you don't get that opening break. But Shapo did a really good job of putting that behind him, and he continues that pattern of breaking down Kovacevic's backhand and then hitting the forehand inside out to the Kovacevic forehand, getting him out of position. Kovacevic on break point actually runs it down and hits a really good pass. Like I said, some of the volleys Shapo had to hit were difficult. This was one of the most difficult one he had to hit, but Shapo absolutely nails this slice drop, sort of drop shot, backhand drop volley, which he kind of nails. And yeah, that was what started the set off. And then at 4-2, Shapo's second break, he hits this fantastic squash shot. And I will say this, Kovacevic in general, I think, played a really tentative match, like I said, not taking chances early in points until it's too late. And when he took his chances, he was already kind of putting himself in uncomfortable positions anyway. As the match went on, I feel like he wanted to stop going his backhand to Shapo's forehand so much. And on this break point at 4-2, he runs way around a backhand to hit a forehand. And he's so out of position that he has to go big, even though he's like really handcuffed and in an uncomfortable position. He has to go for pretty much a winner. And it actually looks like he did hit a really impressive winner. It was actually kind of an amazing shot, but Shapo hit an even more amazing shot. Shapo gets this sensational squash shot. That's probably the shot of the match and gets the crowd oohing and awing. There wasn't a whole lot of that in this match. A lot of quick points. Shapo had some good shots. You always get some good shots from Shapo, but it was really a kind of Bublik Rublev 2023 Wimbledon kind of moment where the crowd oohed and awed because Kovacevic actually had a pretty fantastic shot when it wasn't really expected. And then Shapovalov Shapo just returned the favor with an amazing squash shot that somehow he got to, and it stayed in really low over the net. Huge reaction from Shapo, serves out the match, 6-4, 6-2. It's a win for Shapo. And yeah, I was impressed. I mean, you expect him to serve well. Shapo has an underrated serve. But I felt like there were other things that impressed me, like his returning, his defending ability, his backhand, and defending ability off the backhand, and just his shot selection and willingness to stay patient and just playing a smart match, I would say, above anything. And it's good he was able to have the net play as well. I don't think he really excelled at the grass courts, really, I would say, this year. I mean, he didn't do anything huge, but listen, doesn't matter. He's on the hard courts. And the reason I brought up the grass is because I feel like the game he played here, especially with the net play, would have done well on grass. But anyway, is what it is. He still should be excited about where he's at. And now that leads me into the power rankings, where I want to talk about the top 10 players in the ranking. And then I also want to uh, mention three players that I think are really important to, three players that I would mention to watch right now as well. So number one, I have Yannick Sinner, number one in my power rankings of the players doing the best and playing the best right now. I have Yannick Sinner. Got to the Roland Garros final, played probably the best match he's ever played on clay. Amazing level. Carlos Alcaraz is an alien. Lost that one. Anyway, gets the rebound at Wimbledon. I think he's the best player right now. Alcaraz isn't far behind. He's at number two. Basically, power rankings wise, these two are pretty much at 1 and 2. And then everybody else is about 50 spots down. They are so far above everybody in the rankings. It's like one Yannick Sinner, two Carlos Alcaraz, and then the next guy is at 50. That's how it feels. It's like they are so far above everyone right now. I think that gap, in my opinion, will narrow, not widen, even though I think these two will continue to improve, which is scary. But I think some of the tour will narrow that gap a little bit, but it's still hard to imagine anybody else catching up to where they are on a consistent basis. It really is hard to imagine. Number three, I have Novak Djokovic. I was thinking between Djokovic and one other guy who I'll mention at number four, but it has to be Novak. He got to the semis at all three slams this year, which is amazing. It's really not common for any player to get to the semis of the first three slams of the year. So to do it at now 38 years old is amazing. And he's really showing that he can still produce a phenomenal level. The level he was playing early rounds of Wimbledon, semis against Yannick and the French, and against Zverev in the quarters too, by the way. It shows that he can still play a phenomenal level. So I think consistently I would give it to Novak because he did it on clay and grass, and obviously he can play well on hard too, and that's what's coming up. Taylor Fritz is number four. He really did not have a good results up until the grass court season, which is the main reason I place him here. But he won a couple of grass titles, got to the semis at Wimbledon. I don't feel like he had that hard of a run at Wimbledon, and honestly, I was a bit disappointed because I felt like Fritz really should have pushed his match against Alcaraz to 5. I felt like he kind of, I wouldn't say blow it. I don't think he blew it in the fourth set tiebreaker, but I would say that it was a bit disappointing that he wasn't able to push it to 5. It felt like he was really close. That being said, the fact that he put himself in that position put him at number 4. Number 5, I have Alexander Bublik, who just picked up a title on clay for the first time and got to the quarters of the French, got the title in Halle, beat Sinner. He's playing amazing. His match against Draper at the French was amazing, and it shows that he's mentally kind of stepped up. I don't know if that's, it's a new kind of stepping stone for him. I don't know if he's going to carry on this quality for, let's say, 3 years or something in a row. But listen, it's still good to see from him. Number 6 is Musetti. By the way, these next 5 names were really hard to put together because right now there are very few consistent, reliable names on the men's side, to be honest. I think the depth on the field is really good, but the depth at the top is not that strong, in my opinion. But number 6, I took Musetti. Because Musetti had a great run at the French Open. That's really the main reason. He was been, up until that point, he was really impressive. Didn't do that much on grass, but I still believe in Lorenzo. Number 7, Ben Shelton. He's playing some of the best quality. Lost to Alcaraz at the French, Sinner at Wimbledon. He's one of the better players out right now. Alexander Zverev's number 8, just because, we know the name. We know what he can do. He did pick up a title this year. He got to the Australian Open final. He's done some things. He's one of the only names remaining in Canada. Period. I'm just talking about top seeds. He's like one of the only people that hasn't dropped out, so he probably has a good chance there. Tournament he's won before, I don't know, but anyway, he's always in the conversation. Number 9, Flavio Caboli. This is where it becomes quite evident that it's a power rankings, but Caboli is one of the most informed players right now. He's really improved his quality of play, got to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon, pushed Novak to a really good 4-set match, picked up a title as well recently. So he's really playing a really, really strong, good form. I would say, yeah, picked up a title in Hamburg as well, which is not a nothing tournament to win. Beat Rublev in the final. Number 10, I've got Kareem Khachanov, who got to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon. It's also been pretty strong recently. 3 players to watch. I'm going to go with Shapo because he's kind of going under the radar and picking up this title is impressive. Going to go with Tommy Paul. Didn't impress me on grass, but semifinals at Rome, quarterfinals at the French Open. This is one of his best parts of the season, so I'd watch out for him. And I'm also going for Luciano Darderi, who got to the 3rd round of Wimbledon and just picked up a title on clay, and I feel like he's always kind of under the radar, so I wanted to give him a mention as well. All right, that's going to do it for the New Tennis Era podcast. Glad to be back. Definitely check out the interviews that I did for Wimbledon if you haven't seen them yet. And yeah, tune in for future podcasts to come. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one.